the burning question: can you manifest a specific person or not? Can you or can't you? Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. I also hope you had, if you celebrate, an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you had a lovely, lovely day. Those of you that hopped on the interwebs yesterday, well, I should say last night, thank you for joining the premiere of the video. I appreciated that, and it was fun hanging out with you guys. Let me just quickly say, if you would like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all of that information is in the drop box below. And all the information about my channel memberships is in the drop box below as well. I highly encourage you to check out the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors group, because that's the group that gives you access to all the groups. But that's enough about that. Let's talk about the burning question: can you manifest a specific person or not? Can you or can't you? And if you are sick and tired of wondering, then this is the video for you. Last night, in my live premiere video, we had someone come into the chat and have a burning question. This person was very upset. This person had heard a message from Bashar. This is not a direct quote. This is the quote of the quote from the question I was asked. So if this was said word for word by Bashar, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what I was told, and I wanted to answer this. So long story short, Bashar had made a comment about, you manifest who you need, not who you want. Something along those lines. And this person was really distraught about that because, she sees Bashar as an authority figure type in the manifestation community. And because Bashar is being channeled, but Bashar is an extraterrestrial, being channeled by Daryl Anka. So her burning question was, this authority figure made that statement, and now she's afraid that she can't manifest a specific person because of that line. You manifest who you need, not who you want. And let me first start by saying, number one, whatever we talk about in manifestation, every single subject, every single rule or concept we hear in manifestation, whether it's true or false, is based on you, the individual, based on what you believe, based on what you're open to. That is a really important concept. That's really important to understand when it comes to manifestation, because it's very easy to be confused. It's very easy to be swayed in a direction when you hear concepts, when you hear different coaches talking about the different concepts, the different perspectives in manifestation. Hence the whole point of why I opened the VIP, the Advanced Manifestors group. That was the whole point of that group, is so that we hear all the different perspectives and draw our own opinions, our own individual perspective on anything and everything about manifestation. So that when we hear maybe someone else's opinion on manifestation, we're not so easily, kicked about So we're not so easily ready to believe anything we hear. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, the only thing that will ever matter is what you believe about what you're doing, what you're manifesting. It's only up to you whether something can be true for you or true in your reality. And that includes manifesting a specific person. Every single one of us is a being experiencing humanity, experiencing being in physical form. And every single one of us is a part of God. Meaning God is within every single one of us. As I say so much, so many times I've said, God isn't necessarily the God a lot of us were raised with under, certain religions and different sects. So that's also something to be very mindful of, right? We're not talking about God Gandalf on the mountain. We're talking about the God, the consciousness, the all-knowing, the absolute consciousness that we are all tapped into because it is within every single one of us. Every single one of us. So the first question, can you manifest a specific person or not? Yes. It is very good to be mindful. And this was brought up by another HBIC in that chat, that when you first find this stuff and you make the decision that you're going to go out and manifest your person, especially someone that you already have really deep feelings for, or maybe already had an entanglement with, you should really keep in mind that if you have had a human life experience where your heart has been hurt, there's a pretty good chance that doubtful negative thoughts are going to come into your mind. And they are going to make you question whether you're nuts for being open to manifesting. All sorts of thoughts are probably going to run across your mind because all things exist. All realities exist. All versions of you exist. So there's a great chance that your fear might pop in your mind. And based off of the HBIC's comment, Sebastian, based off my own experience too, that in the beginning, because I was so conditioned to want to protect my heart because I had had my heart broke by SPs in the past. Granted, I wouldn't have called them an SP then. I would have said, different boyfriends. I'd had my heart crushed before. So I was conditioned to believe the negative. I was questioned to believe fear, to expect fear. So when I first found manifestation, the thing I feared the most was finding out that actually you can't manifest a specific person. Right? So that's why anytime I read anything or heard a video, mind you, back then there was only law of attraction content. Anytime I heard a video and the person wording something in a specific way, I would always perceive the negative. So let's go back to the statement that this person heard Bashar say. You manifest you manifest who you need, not who you want. Now, back in the day when I was regularly in a victim state, and mind you, when you hear victim state, don't assume the worst. Victim states really are just when we are forgetting that we are the cause, that this is a mirror world. This is a world of reflection. Everyone is you pushed out. So you're forgetting that and you're believing back into the 3D. You're believing the 3D more again. You're feeling that separation. So in my early days, if I had heard Bashar say that particular line, I would have perceived it just like this other person did. I would have heard the message, You don't manifest who you want, you manifest who you need. I think I just said that backwards, but you got what I'm saying. I would have heard, oh my God, there you go. You manifest who you need, not who you want. Well, I want specific person, so now there's the evidence I can't manifest my specific person because Bashar said that. And Bashar's been in this community long before me, so he knows more than me. So what he says must be the truth. It must be facts. And that's exactly what this person said. It came from Bashar, and because Bashar is being channeled through a human being, that it's facts. It's fact because Bashar said it, because Bashar is spiritual. I'm just going to say this. Okay, that is a video in of itself. I don't care who anyone is claiming to channel. Well, right? We got Abraham Hicks, right? That's Esther Hicks channeling Abraham. Okay? Same idea. It doesn't fucking matter who anybody is claiming to channel. They are a human being hearing things in your mind. Guess what? Even Bashar, right? The entity, the extraterrestrial Bashar, is a part of consciousness. It's a part of God. So therefore is not the all-knowing, not the oracle of the law of assumption or the oracle of manifestation. Not above us, not better connected, more loved, more liked by God. No. God, the absolute, loves every single one of us and is every single one of us unconditionally. So if we were to use that, idea of, God loves his children and every single one of us is a part of, being his children. There's not a favorite. We're all the favorites equally. So perceiving that message as, well, that must mean now I can't manifest my specific person because I only get the person I need, not the person I want. That message being perceived that way, okay? Can't you see that was nothing more than a reflection of your fear of not being able to manifest your specific person? I would have perceived it the same way too in my early days. That's what I'm trying to say. And to be honest, a lot of the messages I heard within the law of attraction community kind of told that story, that you can't manifest someone specifically. That was a reflection of my fear. As I understood Neville Goddard more and more and more and started branching out and reading other people, not just Neville, and my awareness expanded. My understanding expanded, deepened. I realized if God is all, if God is every single one of us, if God is playing all parts, director, producer, writer, actor, audience watching the play, God is all parts, then we're manifesting specific people every day, every second of our life. We're just looking at our specific person, the one we're giving the title of we want to be in love with, right? In a relationship with. We see them as being kind of separate, kind of different. For some of us, way too high up in the world of pedestals. But because of the fear, and it can be coming from any belief, not good enough, not chosen, relationships just don't work for me, the fear of abandonment. Just having that belief within the state you are embodying could most definitely reflect or project out, have it reflected back, the fear of not being able to manifest a person. And when we are fearing that, right, when we're believing in that fear, We are thinking so small. We are thinking so logically. If God is all, if God is everything, if you don't like the word God, insert the word you do, universe, higher power, source energy, moonbeams, pure unadulterated consciousness. If God is all, is the absolute, and we're told we can manifest anything, there's nothing off limits. What you can perceive a state of, right? What you can choose, what you can embody, you can experience in the 3D because you are already doing that, first of all, right? Everything you're experiencing right now is the reflection of a former version of yourself or a former state. The ducks are partying hardcore today. I'm sorry if you hear them in the background noise. We have been manifesting specific people our entire life. What you believe to be true will be true. What you believe to be true will be true. So if you believe your fear of you can't manifest a specific person, then that will be your experience. If you believe you can manifest a specific person, then that will be your experience. If you think you can't manifest romantic love, then that will be your experience. You are in charge. You are deciding what is true in your reality. But let me just say, if you happen to have the same mom and dad or the same caregivers that raised you, if you had them, if you had someone, a figure in your life that was there most of your childhood, maybe you saw them daily, that was you manifesting a specific person or specific people. If you went to school and you had the same kids in your class every day, maybe you picked the same kid every day to be your gym partner or sit next to in lunch, that was you manifesting a specific person. If you currently work and are not working from home and you're back at the workplace and you have the same manager that you've had, I don't know, for more than 10 minutes, same coworkers, and maybe there's even a coworker that's fucking irritating and every day just the bitch won't shut her mouth. And you're expecting her to show up and not shut her damn mouth. That's you manifesting a specific person. God is limitless. There is no limit to unconditional love. So therefore, there can be no limit to what state of consciousness we can embody. That is why we use that word infinite. Neville Goddard has talked about what happens during manifestation, what happens, how to get what you want, what to embody when you want to manifest, how to get into a state of consciousness. And Neville himself has made comment after comment, given examples of success stories in his books about people manifesting specific people. The last maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe months, 6 months of my content, I did a lot of referring to Vadim Zealand. You know, in our channel membership, we read the book, Transurfing in 78 Days, which is a very, very much condensed version of his larger reality transversing chapter, or volume 1 through 5, I believe it is. It's a much more condensed version. We read that in our channel membership group, the Advanced Manifestors. So a lot of my content was kind of bouncing off of that because I'm reading with the group. And I can't tell you how many questions I received in my comment section. You know, hey, Kim, Vadim Zealand doesn't think you can manifest a specific person. What's your take on that? Or, hey, Kim, principal number, I don't remember the principal number. So-and-so said, you know, you shouldn't manifest a specific person. You should like do it general. Guys, Neville Goddard, Vadim Zealand, Genevieve Berend, Joseph Murphy, Napoleon Hill. I can't think of anybody else right off the top of my head. The countless others were also just humans who believed in manifestation and wrote content about it. And what they wrote, I truly believe they believed in, and they were living their life by it. But in their life, in the reality they were inhabiting and embodying, they were experiencing what they as individuals believed to be true. Now, I will tell you, in reality surfing or transurfing in 78 days, the sentence, "you can't manifest a specific person," didn't exist. That was not in the book. And the few references he made to manifesting specifically, and I believe he actually said, if you feel compelled, or if you feel there is no other person for you, no other way for you to meet anyone, you can manifest specifically, with the comma, but. And that but led to, and this is me kimming it down, led to, again, this really is me kimming it down, don't be a desperate, needy bitch. Don't put such importance on this one person that you are creating excess potential over them. But the answer wasn't a hard no from Vadim Zeland. Neville Goddard's opinion in his early books versus his later lectures. He wasn't so stringently strong-minded that you couldn't manifest a specific person. And Neville himself gave a success story in his book, and it is my favorite success story of all time. It is the Mrs. J.E. success story of a woman manifesting a specific person. And this girl, this chick, Mrs. J.E., hear the name Mrs. J.E.? Yeah, she married that specific person. She had only been on one date. One bloody date, and that's it. She didn't have a whole history with this person. She was able to manifest that person and get married a few short months later. There are examples of people manifesting specifically everywhere. Nowhere is it written that romantic love is off limits, or romantic partners are off limits. You only hear no from people who are that strong-minded, and they're probably experiencing evidence of that in their reality. But you have just as many people with examples of how, yes, you can do it, and they have done it successfully. I've done it successfully. I'm not the only one in the manifestation community. We got Sammy Ingram, we got Shelley Bullard, we got Dylan James. There's so many. So many. There's a lot of channels that I don't know who they are, but they're out there. You're listening to fear. When you are, I'm telling you, when you're in the midst of a spiral, there's a pretty good chance you're going to hear a shitty thought convincing you that you were never meant for your SP. It was never going to work. Manifestation is bullshit. No, it's not. Manifestation is perfect, and it's been perfectly reflecting you since your first time entering this planet. And it was perfectly reflecting me too. When I doubted, when I was listening to fears, my 3D reflected perfectly, including the perfect manifestations of more than one breakup. When I was experiencing those breakups, I would have told you, this shit doesn't work. Doesn't work. Look how long I've been doing this, and he's never changing. If anything, it feels like it's getting worse. I can't live like this anymore. Nobody asked me to. I wasn't doing what Neville suggested. Back then, I didn't even understand embodying a state. I was married to my 3D, and most people afraid that they can't manifest their person. That is exactly what's happening. You are married to your 3D. You want to successfully manifest your person? You decide that you are the version of yourself, or you are in the state of the wish fulfilled, which is the you who is in the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. You put your focus there. And you get your hands off of 3D reality. Take the other piece of advice. from Neville Goddard. Deny your senses. Do not just believe what your senses tell you. Because what your senses are telling you right now, if you don't see what you want in 3D reality, your senses are telling you this is who you used to be. This is who you dominantly believed you were. Get the focus on who you want to be. Reality must outpicture it, whether it takes, 1,000 men to bring about it. Neville Goddard from the Live in the End lecture. So if I assume that I am, I don't have to have evidence to support it. Are we hearing that? I don't have to have evidence to support it. I assume that I am. Am what? Well, I name it. And having given it a name, given it form, given it definition, remaining in it, I resurrect it. And if it takes 1,000 men to aid the birth of that state, 1,000 men will play their parts. And I don't have to go out and look for them. And that's not the first time Neville references how there's another quote out there on whether it takes 1,000,000 people to bring about the manifestation. Everyone willingly plays their part. They are compelled to play their part. That means, I believe his example was whether it's a thief, even the thief is playing their part to bring about or to be a part of the orchestration of your manifestation. So what is he referring to in the quote? I just said that the I am is what matters. Your I am. I know some of you do not quite understand what the I am is. The I am is God. It is your awareness, your conscious awareness. And when you make the decision of who I am is, and by that I mean, who do you want to be? Any of you watching this because you want to hear you can manifest a specific person? Okay, your I am is the you in the relationship that you want to be in. So when I was manifesting my person, I was telling myself that I am the version of myself in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's who I am. Those were my exact words. That's who I am. And I would think about, just thinking plain old thoughts about what I think my life would look like. How do I think I would feel like being with my person, whether it was on a date, night out, sitting in the car, sitting on the couch watching TV. I let my imagination go everywhere. So I was defining who I am is, right? I didn't have evidence to support it. I wasn't even talking to my person. So there was nothing in 3D to support what I was manifesting. No 3D evidence. Nothing my senses could see, taste, or touch. In the 3D. There was nothing. Okay? But I still thought about who I would be experiencing the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I was giving it form. I was making it my normal to be this person. Right now, for some of you, your normal is to be without it. Your normal is to be in fear to not have your person. Maybe your normal is to be heartbroken. And you've been willingly playing that part because you rely on your senses. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what's out here. We don't need the proof of our senses. I know in the end of things, the idea is because we want to experience it with our senses. I know that. I know you want to experience it in the 3D. And this is your guaranteed way of getting it. By allowing yourself to think about who you want to be, that's what brings the change. Let it bring the change. Don't get in the way with the constant wavering and doubting because someone said a line you didn't understand. You were perceiving it in a limited way. You manifest who you need, not who you want. Who you need based off of your state. Based off your state. Right? You manifest who you are, not what you want. I would have perceived that in a limited way, going back to the original point of the video. I perceived that in a limited way in my early days because I did not understand states of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is something you fluctuate through different ones all the time. What matters is where you dominantly land. And that landing, that dwelling state will change as you keep deciding who you are. Who are you deciding you are? Are you looking out at the 3D and waiting for evidence to claim who you are? Or are you willingly choosing to think about life as that person, not life as the person waiting for the manifestation to come? Life as the person who knows it's done, it's theirs. You are it. That means, okay, just like for me, I'm going to use the same example. I had no 3D evidence, no logical, literal evidence in the 3D. I had none. I was claiming, I was embodying to be the me in the relationship I wanted to be in. I was deciding that's who I was. So therefore, I had 3D evidence, meaning it didn't matter what was in front of me. My perspective of everything, my perspective of Amazon dropping off a package, my perspective of my mechanic putting on new tires, all of that was a part of the orchestration of my new reality, of the reality of me in a relationship. Everything became evidence. You're deciding the evidence. You're deciding the experience so that we stop identifying as the self who doesn't have the desire. And like Neville said, whether it takes 1,000 men to bring about the evidence of that state, none of us know what it will look like specifically. But if you're deciding to be a version of yourself, if you're deciding to be the you in love, and you're allowing yourself to be that person now by claiming it for yourself, thinking about life as you having it, then everything you're looking at is the unfolding of your manifestation. It is the reality. But you are the one that has to see it that way. Claim it for yourself. Manifestation is like a paradox. But that doesn't mean it has to be hard. Yes, you can unequivocally manifest a specific person. You can manifest anyone you want. But you're probably going to hear a fear or two saying you can't. And you're probably going to misunderstand a phrase here and there. You manifest who you need, as in you manifest the reflection of who you are. You might want your specific person, but if you're still identifying as this doesn't work, they're not choosing me, he or she doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, then you will manifest who you need. Who you need in that equation would be the reflection, more than likely, a specific person who isn't choosing you. Do you see the difference? You manifest who you are. This is why you see people in the comments saying they've been manifesting their person for 1,000,000 years. They haven't gotten the paradox here. You are the person deciding who you are. You're in charge of that. So if you're still identifying with the not having, the being afraid of never having, and especially if you're not having any evidence in your 3D that your person is here and choosing you, then you're the person that needs to make a decision. You need to decide who you want to be and claim it. It's such an easy answer for me. It's a hard yes. It is a hard yes. No one ever said you can manifest all of this, but not that. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's kind of all or nothing. Because God is all. Do you understand that? God is everything. So therefore, everything is a possibility. Everything and everyone. The absolute. So absolutely, yes, you can manifest a specific person. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.